Second year? Okay. Although it's easy to start peeking ahead to a showdown-packed slate to end September, the Week 4 schedule is littered with storylines. Sure, there isn't a marquee game between top national contenders, but we certainly are not complaining about top 25 clashes in 3 different leagues, along with a pair of impactful non-conference matchups. The stakes are not just rising for strong teams either. After seeing 2 coaches fired in recent days, the carousel has officially started. The impact of every result is rising as hot seats are warming. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We apologize for the late start. I think you can imagine why. MF and I were both invested in Thursday Night Football, which has just gone final. And once again, my Buffalo Bills. By golly, it was not easy. But then again, I would not have had it any other way. That's exactly how that's exactly how that game should have been. Buffalo Bills defeating the Miami Dolphins tonight, 31-21. Bills improved to 3-0. Dolphins dropped to 0-3. Buffalo will stay home to host the New Orleans Saints in 10 days on the 28th. MF's Dolphins will be heading back home to Miami for a date with the New York Jets. So we'll have more on that game tomorrow night on NFL Friday. Week 4 of the college football season, and there isn't much more to say except we're going to try to go as rapid fire as we can on this because of the late start. So without any further ado, let's dive on in to our first game of the week. But thankfully, we have a light docket this week. We only have 16 games to cover here. So, and this is hard to believe, but we only have one 12 noon game. Just one. That's crazy, but it's a good one, though. Big noon Saturday on Fox. The number 16 Utah Utes at home against the number 17 Texas Tech Red Raiders. Rice-Eccles Stadium, Salt Lake City, Utah. Big noon Saturday, you know who's working it. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft. And it is Utah opening up as a 3-point favorite. This is a classic strength-on-strength battle with a high-scoring Texas Tech offense taking on a sturdy Utah defense. However, it's also a clash of 2 units, the Tech defense and the Utah offense, rebuilt in the transfer portal. Utah seemingly has an edge in that department while at home, but we're going to learn plenty about both programs in this Big 12 showdown. Close game, high-scoring game, but I think Utah will pull away will eke it out at the end. Utah wins. I'm going to go 31-30. Utah defeats Texas Tech in what should be a very entertaining game on Big Noon Saturday on Fox. So not much more to say. MF, number 16 Utah, number 17 Texas Tech, Rice-Eccles, Big Noon Saturday on Fox. Oh, this should be a good one.
Good matchup, definitely. And I'm going to go with Utah as well. I think Utah is going to be the better team. I think they're going to win this game. So, Anthony, it's off to you.
All right, MF. Next up, we have a 12:45 kickoff. Over on the SEC network, we have the number 15 Tennessee Volunteers once again at home at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, welcoming the UAB Blazers to town. SEC network is where you'll find it, and it's going to be Taylor Zarzar, Matt Stinchcomb, and Alyssa Lang on the call. Tennessee opening up as a 39.5-point favorite. MF, oh my goodness, they were so close to beating Georgia, but the kicker shanked it wide right.
Yeah, and I got to say, a shout out to my boy Jake Turner. He's a big diehard Tennessee fan. He was not happy. There was no joy in Mudville for my friend over there. He was so mad and bent out of shape. I don't blame him. We were watching this at Buffalo Wild Wings with Kevin LaRoche and a few of other people, and we just could not believe what happened in that game. Heartbreak for Tennessee. They'll bounce back. They'll get the win on Saturday. Anthony, go.
Yeah, I got Tennessee winning as well. Following an emotional loss to rival Georgia, Tennessee has an ideal opportunity to get back on track. This should be a blowout by halftime. Tennessee rolls 52-10. Tennessee all over UAB. 3 o'clock kickoff, but we actually have a rivalry game at this time of the year. Usually you don't get these until like Thanksgiving weekend, end of November. But then again, these two teams are not in the same conference anymore. MF, we got the Civil War. We got the Civil War right here.
Oh, yes, we
How about
do.
this? It's the Civil War. The number 6 Oregon Ducks at home once again at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, welcoming their hated rivals from Corvallis, the Oregon State Beavers. And what a coup for the Big Ten Network. The Big Ten Network is getting the Civil War. Not a major network, not an ESPN, not an ABC, not even a Fox. We're talking the Big Ten Network. They're getting the Civil War. And on the call for this one, Jeff Levering, Jake Butt, and Brooke Fletcher. And Oregon opening up as a 35.5-point favorite. The in-state rivalry does not look competitive right now. Given that Texas Tech wrecked Oregon State 45-14 last week, it's no surprise Oregon is a prohibitive favorite over the reeling Beavs. Oregon rolls 47-13. I got Oregon all over Oregon State. MF, Civil War. It's lost its luster. I hate to say it.
It has. But I'm in total agreement with you on this one. I think Oregon's going to win and win this one pretty easily. So, yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
And now we get into the 3:30 slate. It's hard to believe we only had one game in the 12 noon window. But in the 3:30 window, we got 5. That's more like it. And we're going to start it off with the now number 7 Florida State Seminoles at home at Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. And they're going to be welcoming the Golden Flashes of Kent State. You can find this game over on the ACC network with Jorge Sedano and Rodney McLeod. And Florida State opening up as a 45.5-point favorite. MF, Florida State is back.
Yeah, they are back, and I think it's going to be an easy victory for them. I got FSU winning this one and winning this one going away. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, it's Florida State. As if Florida State needed any additional edge. The Seminoles are well rested after a bye week last Saturday. It'll be a rout. 59-7, Florida State all over Kent State. And we move on to one of the games of the week. This is one of the big ones of the week. You can make an argument this might be the game of the week, along with that Texas Tech and Utah game and a couple others. But this is one of the big games of the week. I know this is that new SEC deal, MF, that you talked about. I think this is that game for them. Here it is. The number 11 Oklahoma Sooners at home at the Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium in Norman. And they're going to be welcoming the now number 22 Auburn Tigers. 3:30 a kickoff over on ABC. And on the call for this one, it'll be Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath. And Oklahoma opening up as a 7-point favorite in this matchup here. Jackson Arnold, the former Oklahoma starter, is set to lead Auburn into a top 25 affair in Norman. That is the main storyline, of course, but the early struggles of Auburn's secondary are a big concern opposite John Mateer and the Sooners offense, especially with Auburn on the road. I think it'll be close for at least maybe 3 quarters, but I think once we get to the 4th quarter, I got to say Oklahoma will pull away, and I think Oklahoma will pull this one out. My final score, I'm going to go with Oklahoma here. I'm going to say Oklahoma wins 34-24. Oklahoma defeats Auburn in one of the big games of the week. I know this is that big SEC game that MF talked about on our last show. So I know this is their game. So, and for good reason. So MF, number 11, Oklahoma at home against number 22, Auburn. War Eagle or Boomer Sooner?
No, I'm going to say Boomer Sooner. I totally agree with you guys on this one. Yeah, I got the Sooners winning as well. And like you said, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a close game, but I do have Oklahoma winning. So, Anthony, it's yours.
right. And we move on now to the sleeper game of the week, if I'm going to be honest with you. ESPN will have this one also at 3:30. The number 13 Ole Miss Rebels at home at I just want to make sure I have the right name of this. Yes, Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford. And they are going to be welcoming the Green Wave of Tulane. ESPN will have it. And on the call for that will be Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, and Quint Kessenich. And Ole Miss opening up as a 12.5-point favorite. MF, your thoughts as we have number 13 Ole Miss at home against Tulane in the sleeper game of the week?
It is going to be a sleeper game, but I honestly got Ole Miss winning this one. I think they're just going to overwhelm Tulane to a certain point. It could be interesting early, but I think once the game gets really going and we start getting into the deeper waters, I think Ole Miss is just going to overwhelm and take down Tulane with an easy win. So I got Ole Miss winning. Anthony, it's yours.
Seeking a third win over a Power 4 opponent, Tulane has a chance to place a flashy bullet point on its resume. Ole Miss, though, is likely to stress an unproven Tulane defense. Even if Austin Simmons is unavailable, Trinidad Chambliss had a tremendous game in his first career start for Ole Miss last week. Close for 3 quarters, but I think Ole Miss puts it away in the fourth and wins somewhat comfortably. I'm going to go with Ole Miss as well. My final score, 36-23. Give me Ole Miss to knock off Tulane. And we move on now to the next 2 games are all about our teams. Our teams are going to take over the next 2 games. And MF, you're up first. It's your team. The number 21 Michigan Wolverines on the road against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Memorial Stadium, Lincoln, Nebraska. Oh, by the way, it's the Big Ten on CBS.
Yep.
How about that? You know who's working that. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell. And Michigan is only a 2.5-point favorite. This is another one of the big games of the week right here. Give me a moment to find it here in my notes. Okay. The second game of Michigan head coach Sharon Moore's suspension has always been the potential issue. Now it's here. Michigan is favored, but a stingy Nebraska defense may frustrate Bryce Underwood, similar to how Oklahoma limited the freshman quarterback. MF, I'm sorry, but I think Nebraska pulls it out. I think Michigan's on upset alert. Nebraska, and especially that defense, and with the game being in Nebraska, I got to give a slight edge to Nebraska. I'm going to call for the upset here. 20-16, Nebraska upsets Michigan. But would I be surprised if Michigan stole this? No. Underwood is a stud. They had it easy a week ago, 63-3 beatdown of the Central Michigan Chippewas. Going to be nothing like that come Saturday. So, sorry, man. 20-16. I think Nebraska pulls the upset, but I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan stole it. I wouldn't. So, not much more to say. MF, Michigan, Nebraska, Lincoln, Big Ten on CBS. Oh man.
Yeah, no, big game, no doubt about it. This is where I disagree. I kind of feel like this might be that same game when Michigan had to play without Jim Harbaugh, and I believe that was the Penn State game, and because they didn't have him on Ohio State, but the Penn State game was the biggest one because they ran it and they were able to go into Happy Valley and win that game. I feel like this is Michigan's moment where they can show the nation, hey, we're not just, we can play just as good, just as strong. And I'm going to tell you, the head coach, the new head coach of Michigan, the interim coach, he's already gotten a cult following from the fan base. So if he can go into Lincoln and pull out this win, trust me, this guy will be a hero for the Michigan alum. So I disagree. I think if Michigan's going to play inspiring football, I think they're going to go into Lincoln, and I think they're going to pull the upset. So no, I disagree. I got Michigan winning and knocking off Nebraska. So, Anthony, it's back to you.
And we go from your team, MF, to my team. It's a miracle they're even still in the top 25. But despite the fact that they're 0-2, they're still in the top 25. The now number 24 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, once again at home at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, welcoming the Purdue Boilermakers. And when it's when it's a Notre Dame home game, you know what that means. It's Notre Dame football on NBC. Dan Hicks, Jason Garrett, Zora Stevenson. They will be there, and Notre Dame opening up as a 25.5-point favorite. I know there's a lot of Notre Dame fans out there saying, "Oh, season's over, season's over." No, I refuse to accept that, and I refuse to acknowledge that. But I'll get to that in just a second. MF, you started off here. Remember, when Notre Dame had that demoralizing loss to Northern Illinois last year, who was next on the schedule? It was Purdue. And what did they do? They went into West Lafayette and they smashed them 66-7. If there was ever a time for a smash job and a big-time get-right game, this is it for Notre Dame. Their chances at the playoff are pretty much all but done, unless they win out and get a lot of help along the way. But we'll see what happens. But get-right bounce back for Notre Dame right here. Am I right? I mean, I still can't get over what happened last week. I still can't get over it.
Yeah, I think everybody's still trying to figure out what just happened with that one. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is the ultimate get right game. They have to win this game. So without a doubt, I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think Notre Dame can definitely win this one, and they should win this one. So I really got nothing more to add. So, yeah, I think Notre Dame will win this. And, Anthony, it's all yours.
Like I said, I refuse to accept the fact that some people are saying this season's over. I don't think it is. Yeah, it's 0-2. Yeah, it's bleak. I get it. But I've always gone on the record, and I've always said it. Real fans stick by their team no matter what. Good times and bad times. Unfortunately, it's bad times for Notre Dame right now. Back-to-back gut-wrenching losses. First in Miami. I mean, that was one thing. That was expected because it was in Miami, and Miami's a damn good team. And we'll get to them in a little bit. But the way they lost to A&M last week, that's gut-wrenching. Suddenly, that Northern Illinois game is not the most demoralizing loss anymore. That one just became that one. Botched extra point. Are you kidding me? You lose like that? That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But nonetheless, clinging near the edge of the top 25, Notre Dame should finally put a notch in the win column this week. Purdue is a major work in progress offensively. Notre Dame should bounce back here. 38-14. Notre Dame all over Purdue. So that should cover the 3:30 matchups. And now we get into our 4:30 kickoff over on the CW. How about this? The number 18 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at Bobby Dodd Stadium, Hyundai Field in Atlanta. Another home game for them, and they're going to be welcoming the Temple Owls to town. This will be on the CW. Tom Brenneman and Will Blackman on the call. Georgia Tech opening up as a 23.5-point favorite. The Hunters are slowly becoming the hunted. Georgia Tech has been a nuisance for ranked ACC opponents, but now the Jackets are a top 25 team for only the second time in the last decade. Fortunately, though, they are not on a big upset alert, opposite a Temple squad that got smashed at home by Oklahoma 42-3 at the Link last week. Yikes. and they're going to get smashed again. 41-14, Georgia Tech wins. MF, after what Georgia Tech did last week, the shocker of the week, upsetting Clemson on a walk-off 55-yard field goal. I think it's high time we put some respect on that Yellow Jacket name. I certainly am.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I got Georgia Tech winning as well. I don't think there's really much for us to talk about here. So, Anthony, next game.
And we get into the primetime games now. 7 o'clock kickoff from Farrat Field at Memorial Stadium. Yeah, Memorial Stadium / Farrat Field in Columbia, Missouri. 7 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. The number 23 Missouri Tigers at home hosting the South Carolina Gamecocks. And on the call for that one will be Dave Patch, Dusty Dvoracek, and Taylor McGregor. And Missouri opening up as a 9.5-point favorite. MF, Missouri took care of their business last week. But South Carolina, what was that at home against Vandy? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Vandy got them. Look, Vanderbilt Vanderbilt is a pesky team. You never know what you're going to get. They're like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. 1 week they're really, really good, and the next week they play like garbage. And they had it all going on their way that night, man. They had everything going their way. Everything went right for Vandy. I don't see much hope for South Carolina against Missouri either. So give me Missouri for the win. Florio, it's yours.
Definitely. It's going to be Missouri. As of now, the status of South Carolina is uncertain. Regardless of whether he's able to play or not, I too am going with Missouri. But if he is sidelined, it will not be very competitive. I got Missouri winning this one comfortably, 34-14. Give me Missouri over South Carolina. And now we get into some 7:30. We got 3 7:30 games. Oh, an MF. We got an MF special to start it off. The Saturday night game of the week on ABC. The Saturday night game of the week on ABC. The number 4 Miami Hurricanes, once again at home at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, hosting one of their crosstown hated rivals, the Florida Gators. Saturday night game of the week on ABC, and it's the A team. You know who it is. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe. Miami opening up as a 9.5-point favorite. It's Miami. In losses to South Florida and LSU, Florida scored just 26 total points. DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions in the recent setback to LSU. But is the Florida offense isn't that bad, right? Still, it's tough to believe in a dramatic reversal of fortunes against Miami on the road in prime time. It'll be close for a little bit, but I do think Miami will eventually pull away and win somewhat comfortably. I'm going with Miami to win this one, 27-16. Miami over Florida. MF, Florida, Miami, MF special.
Agreed. It's going to be a great one. It is the MF special. Even though I'm not covering this game, I'm going to definitely have a vested interest. But I got Miami winning this one. Nothing more to say, Anthony. Let's go to the game that, believe it or not, is me and Michael Bullock's game of the week for the Big Ten.
How about this? You can make an argument this might be the game of the week as well. Another game of the week contender here. And it's big, and you got Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. How about that?
Yep.
How about this? The number 9 Illinois Fighting Illini on the road against the number 19 Indiana Hoosiers. Memorial Stadium, Bloomington, Indiana. In addition to MF and Bullock, it's the Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. So it's their crew, Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, and Catherine Tappan. They will be there. And Indiana is opening up as a 6-point favorite. All right, MF. We all know how great Indiana was last year, but for the first time since 2001, Illinois, a top 10 team. I never would have imagined that. Never.
And they are, and you know what? And this is, and a lot of people's been saying, well, have they really been tested? Have they really been tested? They will be tested on Saturday because Indiana, like you said, they made the playoff last year. They were one of the better teams out there, and a lot of people were wondering, was there any hype or excitement? And absolutely. So at the end, this is going to be a real interesting matchup, to say the very least. But I think, even though, yes, Indiana is I guess, the lower team, and a lot of people has Indiana going for the upset, I am with the upset here. I think we are going to see it. I got Indiana winning at home. Anthony, close game, but I think Indiana ekes it out, and I think they get a statement win in the Big Ten.
Oh, this is why I love our show at times. I mean, normally 9 times out of 10, we usually agree. We almost agree on everything. But I disagree on this one. I believe in the Illini. And here's why. So you want to compete in the Big Ten. You need this one. Indiana is favored here. And Indiana coach, Kurt Google Me Signetti, has earned that respect. Illinois, nevertheless, brings an efficient offense and a stout defense. This is a prove-it game for the Illini, a top 10 team for the first time in 24 years. We're talking 2001. I think this Illini team is for real. Would I be surprised if Indiana wins this? No, absolutely not. They're out to prove last year was not a fluke. They were one of the darlings last year. They came out of absolute nowhere. Made the college football playoff before they ran into Notre Dame, of course. But still. But I have all the love and respect for Indiana. I really do. But I'm sorry, MF. I got to disagree with you on this one. One of the things that I've been preaching about when it comes to pick'ems, whether it's on the show or in our pick'em leagues that we do, make bold predictions. Don't ever be afraid to make a bold prediction. And I am going to do such a thing right now. I'm calling for a bold prediction. Give me Illinois to defeat Indiana, to steal one in Bloomington. 29-24, Illinois goes into Indiana and steals it. But I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana wins. The other 7:30 matchup, the number 20. Yes, they're in the top 25. We just talked about them a moment ago. The now number 20 Vanderbilt Commodores at home at First Bank Stadium on ESPN University. And they're going to be welcoming the Panthers of Georgia State. Jay Alter and Rocky Boyman on the call. Vandy opening up as a 26. Are we talking about Vandy here? Vandy's opening up as a 27.5-point favorite here? Wow.
Actually, on my sheet, I got it. Actually, on my sheet, Anthony, I actually got Vandy at 28.5.
How many times have we called them in the past and they've been an underdog of that size?
Yeah,
they're
many times.
27.5 to 28.5-point favorite.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's the respect that Vegas is giving them, especially after that win.
Not since 2008 has Vanderbilt spent back-to-back weeks in the AP Top 25. Take care of Georgia State as a heavy favorite, and the streak is over. Vandy wins, and they're going to roll 38-14. Vandy over Georgia State. MF, here's another team we got to put some respect on. Vanderbilt.
Agreed. Vanderbilt wins. I got them winning pretty handily too, so nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Okay, we have 3 games left. We have a 7:45 kickoff on the SEC network. The number 3 LSU Tigers once again at home at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, and they're going to be welcoming the Lions of Southeastern Louisiana. You can find this game over on the SEC network at 7:45, and it's their A team: Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, and Cole Kubelik. And out of all the games on my sheet here, this is the only one that does not have a spread. But then again, it doesn't really need one. You know LSU is going to be a massive favorite in this one. When a defense, I believe MF starts this one off, but MF, LSU, under the lights, Southeast Louisiana coming in, should be an easy one.
Should be an easy one. I have no spread either. That means Vegas doesn't even quantify this game. I think they know what's about to happen here. This should be an easy victory. So yeah, LSU wins. Florio, it's yours.
When a defense forces 5 takeaways and the final score is only 20-10, it's fair to ask a coach some questions about that offense. But I don't think we're going to be asking him after this one. LSU should roll over this one easily. 48-7 LSU all over Southeast Louisiana. 2 games left, and we have an 8 o'clock kickoff here. The number 8 Texas Longhorns back at home at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin, hosting the Bearcats of Sam Houston. And this is on SEC Network Plus, ESPN Plus, with Clay Matvick and Chase Daniel. And Texas opening up as a 39.5-point favorite. The hype train has slowed considerably for quarterback Arch Manning in this revamped Texas offense. The bright side for the Longhorns, who should roll Sam Houston, is the defense is living up to its elite potential billing. Easy one for Texas. 41-6. Texas all over Sam Houston. MF, nothing left to say except hook 'em horns.
Texas, and this is not even going to be close. So, Anthony, it's yours.
One final game before we get into our quick preview of WrestlePalooza, because, of course, the NFL show is going to be another big one tomorrow, so another loaded one. So, 11. How about this? An 11 p.m. kickoff. 11 p.m. kickoff on Fox, Pac-12 After Dark, if you will. And look who's back in the top 25. The number 25 USC Trojans. And they're going to be welcoming the Michigan State Spartans. Nice little sleeper matchup here. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. And you can find this game over on Fox with Jason Benetti, Robert Griffin III, and Allison Williams. USC opening up as an 18.5-point favorite. Nothing more to say. MF, Michigan State, and USC to round out this late docket.
Yeah, and back in the day, Michigan, if this would have been like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this would be a Rose Bowl level matchup of USC versus Michigan State. The only time you probably ever see a game like this would be Pasadena on New Year's Day. That's the only way you would have gotten to see this.
Absolutely.
But I got USC winning this game. I think they're going to dominate. I hate to say it, but Michigan State is nowhere close to where they used to be. USC should win. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
In the quote-unquote body clock game of the week, Michigan State travels for a late-night kickoff to USC. This under-the-radar matchup of unbeaten teams likely will not be much of a fight in the fourth quarter. It could be early, but I think USC will ultimately pull away. Should win this one comfortably. 37-17, give me USC to defeat Michigan State. So with all that being said, let us get into our quick preview of a history-making pay-per-view event from the WWE that will be taking place this Saturday night. Something. I mean, this is absolutely something. I just want to do a quick check here to see if they All right. As of right now, we only have 5 matches on the card. Come tomorrow night on SmackDown, they could add more. You never know. But nonetheless, here we go. WWE kicks off its new ESPN partnership on Saturday night with WrestlePalooza, the event named after an old ECW event, and this will mark the first time the event has been held under the WWE banner. It all goes down from the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, the home of the NBA Eastern Conference champion Indiana Pacers. The card is stacked with some huge matches. In one of his final in-ring appearances, plenty of history, which was revived when Lesnar returned to WWE to attack Cena at the end of SummerSlam. Making a return after an even longer absence is AJ Lee, who has been out of WWE for more than a decade. Lee will tag with her husband, CM Punk, to take on World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins and his wife, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, the man Becky Lynch. There's plenty more action set for the event, including a match for the vacant Women's World Championship between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer, an undisputed WWE Championship match between champion Cody Rhodes and challenger Drew McIntyre, and a tag team match between the recently reunited Usos and the Vision's Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. With all that in mind, let's get into it. To be honest, I was honestly going to save this for the main event, but if you didn't see the Pat McAfee show earlier today, of course, we all know MF watches it religiously every day. And I know, and he saw it as well as everybody else who tunes into that fine program in this case. But we thought this was going to be the main event, but Pat McAfee confirmed that this is actually going to start the show. You want to talk about starting the show with a bang? We're starting the show with a bang, all right. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Lesnar beating Cena is the sensible choice. The former UFC heavyweight champion recently returned and rarely loses. Cena's retirement tour lets him lose gracefully. He's portrayed as an aging warrior, though Cena's technically a few months younger than Brock Lesnar. But nevertheless, I'm siding with John Cena. He's already down 2-4 in his series with Lesnar, winless since reverting back to a babyface, and should presumably lose his retirement match. Beating Lesnar gives more weight to Cena's final loss, and gives Cena a sentimental victory in their saga. Honestly, both men are bulletproof from defeat, so the outcomes don't matter. But I believe there's more benefit to having Cena's hand raised. And should that happen, it would be John Cena's 100th pay-per-view / premium live event win. He would be second all-time to only Michael Bullock's all-time favorite, The Undertaker, who has 107. But nonetheless, I'm going with John Cena. I think Cena wins. I think the story is set up perfectly for him to win. So there isn't much more to say. MF, John Cena, Brock Lesnar starting the show. Are you kidding me? What?
Yeah, I think everybody was shocked when they heard that Cena and Brock was jumping this baby off. But you know what? I'm good with it. I'm cool with it. Give me John Cena to win the match. Give me John Cena to win the matchup. Nothing more to add. Anthony, next match.
All right. So I'll just go from bottom to top here. The tag team match. The reunited Usos, Jimmy and Jay, squaring off against the Visions, Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed. MF, who you got?
In any other situation, I probably would have said Usos, easy. But unfortunately, with what Jay Uso's been doing lately, because of his interactions with LA Knight, I kind of feel like LA Knight's going to show up to screw Jay Uso over here and to continue that. So I'm actually going to go with the Vision. I'm going to go with the Brawnies. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to get the W here over the Usos. So I got them winning. So, Anthony, it's yours.
I agree. Jey Uso seems to be snapping as his failures have added up since losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Gunther back in June on Raw. His connection with Jimmy is rocky, And now he has made an enemy of LA Knight. It's probably LA Knight who decides who wins this one. Either he aids the Usos or somehow costs them the match. It feels the most coherent story beat is for the Vision to get the win and Jay to slide further down whatever path he is on. I'm going to go with the Vision. I'm going to go with Breaker and Reed to win this match as well. And I believe LA Knight, is going to be the deciding factor. So he's going to it's not going to be an accident. I think this is going to be an intentional cost job here. Vision wins. Next up, I'm going to go in a little bit of a different order here because I think I know which match is going to main event now. So let's get into the matchup, the battle for the vacant Women's World Championship. Io Sky squaring off against Stephanie Vaquer. Io Sky has proven a more than capable champion, which is not hurt by the fact she's had a case as the best wrestler in the world for the last year. But there are plenty of things for Io to do without the title, as her drama with the Kabuki Warriors is ramping up. Vaquer winning puts the title on a relatively new face, who can more than hold up her end in the ring and continue to build up the top end of the women's locker room. And just the other day, as part of that daily rumor roundup sheet that I check out every morning, first thing every morning, I read that thing, cagesideseats.net or cagesideseats.com, rumor roundup, check it out. It's a great read every day. They released early betting line favorites, and they had Stephanie Vaquer as the betting line favorite to win the Women's World Championship. I mean, would I be surprised if Io wins the title? Certainly not. In fact, maybe I know a lot of people say it should be Io, but who knows? That Oscar drama could end up coming into play. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to say the winner and the new Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vaquer. I think Stephanie's going to do it. She's had a big year already anyway. Let's not forget. She back in March, NXT Roadblock, the Paramount Theater, Madison Square Garden. She beat Julia and became a double champion, the NXT Women's North American and NXT Women's Champion. I know she hasn't been on TV a lot lately, which is blasphemy, but I don't think we have to worry about that anymore. Come Saturday night, we're going to be seeing her a lot more than we did before. Winner and the new Women's World Champion, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. And she also won that Battle Royal in Paris. Let's not forget that, too. I mean, the Battle Royal at Evolution to earn this opportunity that she did not get in Paris. But the Naomi pregnancy obviously threw things into a tailspin. But nonetheless, give me Stephanie Vaquer to win the Women's World Championship. But if Io wins, I would not have her. Honestly, I don't care who wins. I'm happy with either one. I'll be happy with either one because this is raw. This is raw business we're talking about here. I trust both of them. Whoever Papa H and then decide to put the belt on, it's more than okay with me. It's a win-win either way. But I'm going to take a chance and go with Stephanie. So not much more to say. MF, Women's World Championship. It's vacant. We're going to have a new title holder. La Primera, or does the Genius of the Sky get her title back?
No, I think it's going to be La Primera. I think Stephanie's winning this title. I totally agree with everything you said because I do think it's going to be Asuka. I think Asuka's going to cost Io the title, and I think that's really gonna really hype in this rivalry up. So yeah, I think Stephanie wins the title. I think she becomes the champion. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, the two big main events. We go from Raw business to SmackDown business. The undisputed WWE Championship. The champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, defending against the former champion in his own right, the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. MF, this is your SmackDown business. Does Cody retain, or does Drew get his moment after all these years?
This is actually tough because I've been hearing a lot of rumors about maybe history being made where we might have a new champion coming out. There's rumors that it could be Randy Orton costing Cody the title, and then that starts the feud between them where Orton could go heel. I don't know if that should be the right path, but anything can happen. I think Cody's gonna win, and I think it's gonna be an and still. But would I be shocked if Drew walks out of here the new champion? Absolutely not. But I think Cody's gonna win it. But there has been rumors of maybe a Drew McIntyre title win. So it's not out of the realm of possibility here. But I do believe Cody is gonna. But I do believe Cody is still going to be the champion coming out of WrestlePalooza.
Well, right now, Drew McIntyre does not have much momentum. I don't think WWE puts the title on McIntyre, but he could sneak out a win to extend the feud. There is a third party involved in this match, and you said it, MF. His name is Randy Orton. McIntyre is feuding with both men, mostly independent of one another. I'm going to do something unorthodox here. You know me in bold predictions. I'm going to make a bold prediction right here and now. I think Orton attacks McIntyre, allowing Drew to steal a disqualification victory. Orton's actions will build tension between him and Cody, leading to a triple threat match. And then Randy Orton will finally turn heel on his former legacy brethren. Cody retains the title, yes. But it's not often I do this, but I'm all about the bold predictions, you know. Give me Drew McIntyre to win via disqualification. How about that? Drew by DQ.
We haven't had one of... Yeah. And that's very plausible. Very plausible.
Drew wins by DQ because of Orton. But Cody will still be the undisputed WWE champion. And the match that I believe is going to main event this show, if it's not that title match, the most anticipated mixed tag team match in the history of professional wrestling. Bigger than Savage and Sherry versus Dusty and Sapphire at WrestleMania 6. Bigger than Goldust and Luna against Mark Mero and Sable. Heck, even bigger than the previous best mixed tag team match in history. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon against Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 34. CM Punk and AJ Lee versus World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins and Women's Intercontinental Champion, the man Becky Lynch. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch have been one step ahead of CM Punk to the point where he brought in AJ Lee to even the odds. That changed on the final pre-WrestlePalooza Raw this past Monday night, when Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins outsmarted CM Punk and AJ Lee, allowing Becky to lay AJ out with a manhandle slam. WWE clearly is not done with Seth Rollins and CM Punk's entanglement or feud, and if they want to continue down that path, it does not make much sense for the challenger to lose, especially alongside his wife, who is returning to the ring for the first time in more than a decade. The winners of the match, CM Punk and AJ Lee will score the fall on Becky Lynch, setting up a future Women's Intercontinental Championship match, presumably at the Crown Jewel in Australia in a few weeks. Punk and AJ win. Not much more to say. MF, take it home with the most anticipated mixed tag match of all time.
No doubt about it, but I think it's almost in doubt. There's no doubt how this is going to play out. I think you're right on every front here. AJ and Punk wins. AJ gets the winning fall on Becky Lynch. That will open the door for AJ to possibly get a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. So, yeah, really nothing more to add. Anthony, let's call it a night.
And that will put the bow on this special edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday / Talking Wrestling TXN. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25 for the Week 3 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We will recap the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills from Thursday Night Football. And we'll also preview the remaining games of week number 3 of the NFL season. And then Saturday night, sometime after the WrestlePalooza pay-per-view, hop on over to MF's channel, BraceFan 95, for the Cerebral Smack Talk, TNA Impact, Friday Night SmackDown, and WrestlePalooza. You do not want to miss that. And then Tuesday night, we do it all over again, Ridiculously Raw, Monday Night Raw, NXT, and I will set the table. I will have the card for TNA Victory Road that takes place on the TNA Plus app next Friday night. And then 1 week from tonight, another edition, the Week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. Interesting matchups next week. Florida State against Virginia, Notre Dame against Arkansas, USC against Illinois, Auburn against Texas A&M, LSU and Ole Miss, Ohio State, Washington, Indiana, Iowa. We got all these great matchups. Utah against a good West Virginia team, Tennessee against Mississippi State. This is our first Smorgasbord Saturday of the season, headlined by a huge double main event. MF, listen to this. You ready for? You want to talk about one of the biggest double main events of all time? Listen to this lineup. Number 2, Penn State at home against number 6, Oregon. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. And then the Saturday night game of the week on ABC. Number 5, Georgia at home against number 14, Alabama. Bama and Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Bama and Georgia, Oregon and Penn State. Need I say more? So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Week 3 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock, and always and forever our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for NFL Friday, you've been watching the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.